Sweet. So we're going to go into the LeadsOS today. And when you click that button, you should have a copy base thing up at the top here. If you have an Airtable account, it will take you directly to your workspace and just add it to your base like that. And then you are in. You've got this in your base and you're good to go. So quick high-level overview to this. You've got the data side, and if you don't have Airtable on your phone, download it. It is awesome, especially with prospecting. So in Airtable, if you go to it on your phone, you can click this number and automatically just dial out from your phone. And then with email over here, you can click this and send an email just straight from your phone. I do about like 60% of my work just straight from my phone. And I've optimized this data view for mobile. So inside the data side, you've got the lead stages that you are more than welcome to change. These are some of ours, but it will change the interface side. And I've got plenty of trainings inside of our program and on YouTube of how to optimize interfaces and all that. The thing that changed our business about a year ago was organizing our leads by who is the hottest prospect and re-engaging with those people at least 4 times before taking them off the list. Because the magic is in the what? The follow-up. So when we can regularly engage with the people who are the hottest, it's like taking out a sniper instead of a shotgun approach and not getting lost in low quality conversations. Does that make sense? You guys with me on that? Cool. So we have the lead stage here. Have this up every single day, either on the data side or the interface side. You and your setters, and you can, if you have setters or salespeople, you can mark them as responsible or whatever it is. And then we also have a new leads side. So here you'll see where the new leads are coming in or who's coming in to new leads. And I'll show you how to automate that process to get the new leads in there. So that's a quick high-level overview. Big things, download the Airtable app. And also the other thing is like you can open it up here and see all the data here. So pretty cool. Then what I've also added in here that's important is tasks. So I've been using the Airtable task management system for about 3 years now. I've used Monday, I've used ClickUp, I've used Asana, all of those different platforms. I've found Airtable takes the cake in terms of its flexibility and functionality. And you can connect all of these leads and put tasks underneath them for follow-ups and that sort of stuff. And I'll show you how to do that as well. Also, this opens up as well, so you can put all that data in there, all that good stuff. And then the last thing that I put in here is tags. So what you're able to do is create a new tag inside of here. So let's say we wanted to tag John Smith as a VSL opt-in. And now we got that tag in the system. And who can we mute? Who is going? Somebody's talking about ideal clients. Who is it? Who is it?
Is it Eddie? Is that you, Eddie?
Let's see. It was Eddie. We found
was Eddie.
Cool. Sweet. Got him. All right. And now we can see inside of here, boom, all the people that are tagged under VSL opt-in, go back to them, go straight to, boom, them, all the VSL opt-ins, all organized in one place. And Katie, anybody who has questions when I go through this kind of intro part, feel free to save them or put them in the chat. I'll get them answered. Boom. Let's get Eamon back in here. Cool. So the other side of things that doesn't transfer over from that link are automations that can be created inside of Airtable. So I'll show you how to set some of those up as well. But you have automations natively inside of Airtable. The coolest thing is the interface side here. So this is what I mainly operate out of when I'm on desktop. And what I recommend doing right now is going to the interface side, boom, pulling this over and just putting it to the top of your Chrome bar and optimizing your workspace environment. And just call it the LeadsOS. So you can click that and go to it at any time with these leads. So at the top, you have the tracking system. You can see how many enrollment calls are booked, how many hot prospect, total leads. And then you can see the new leads dashboard, how many new leads you got this month, this year, in total up at the top. And this will all automatically be tracked. So how we automate this is from any of our lead sources, let's say Go High Level, Facebook groups, school, that sort of stuff. You can automate that process of the leads coming in here through a Zap or a Make integration. And I have the video here on how to set that up and sending that over to here. And then another great tool to use to pull. The reason why Airtable for lead tracking is a little bit better than Go High Level, we use both, but organically we can get new people into Airtable really easily with the Airtable web clipper, because we're not going to have everybody's phone number or email, but we can go to school, Instagram, Facebook, and just use the Airtable web clipper to go to new lead. Boom, prospect, and then it will automatically pull the title, the name of this page, and the link that we're on. So let's say we're on Instagram. It will automatically pull their name from Instagram, put it in there, and their link, and then we can put in the notes and any tags and that sort of stuff, and then we can hit add record, and that will add it to this platform. So does that make sense? You guys see the value in that? Very easy. I love the Airtable web clipper. And I have that video right here for you guys to check out on how to set that up. And yeah, with the Tasks OS, what you can do inside of here is connect any tasks to the lead, boom, and you can open up that lead as well. I can go deeper into that. But as a quick high-level overview to the lead system, what I recommend doing is if you are a 1 through a 3 on your system, put in the hot prospects first, do an inventory of your DM messages, your text messages, your emails, that sort of stuff, and put the hot prospects in first. And just re-engage until there's a book call or a sale, right? And then if you're like a 3 to 6, I would set up these automations to have everything tracked into the leads. And for anybody, I would add in the Airtable web clipper here, add that stuff in. All this stuff opens up too, so you can see everything on the data side, all the tags, all that good stuff. Cool. Sweet. So that's a high-level overview of the system. And Airtable is like putty. You can create whatever you want out of it. So it can just be optimized over and over and over. Cool. Sweet. Does that look good? Does that look helpful? Cool. Sweet. So we got a few questions here from Katie. I use Go High Level in opportunities section. Is there a way to convert this over? Yes. So you can download a CSV file of those Go High Level opportunities and just make sure that the columns line up in Airtable. So name, phone number, email, and then you can paste it directly into the system. So what that looks like in Airtable, you go to the data side of things, go to leads, and I would duplicate, boom, this view. And then you can call this like upload data. And we're just setting this up so we can make it super easy to upload. And then under hide fields, what you would do is put on phone, boom, email, boom. And what we can do is hide these people So if we don't want to get that lost in the mix, then we can add a new section here, check, boom, hide, there you go. And then filter this, and this is recorded, hide is not checked, boom. So then that's how you can easily take those out, hide this field, and then you can upload that data and then it will show up in here. So, and you could also add like notes if you have that column in the CSV file, boom, and just make sure the columns line up when you download it in there. Does that make sense, Katie?
Yeah, I think I have my leads are in different ways, so just gonna have to take some time to organize it all.
Yeah, what do you mean in different ways?
Like before I even used Go High Level, I had a Excel spreadsheet where I would put all the information that I feel like could be easy to just copy, download, and then put into this. And then I have for example, when I had my event on Sunday, I tagged the people who signed up using the link, and then that put them into an opportunity, and then I could drag them on like where they're at. So that's another, and then there's like I have a couple different ones. So
Yeah, if you have those tags too, and they're separated by like a comma, you can add the tag field in here as well. And if they're separated by a comma, then it will tag it by individual one as well. So that's another idea for you.
cool. Thanks.
Sweet, great question. All right. And Phil, are you pulling leads from Go High Level that are being added to Go High Level automated into Airtable? Yes, that's in the video on the interface side of how to integrate the two together. So all of our school leads, all of our Facebook leads, all of our Go High Level leads get added into here. And then the added benefit to this using Airtable is the Airtable web clipper, and people that we don't have their phone number or email yet, those are like, I would say 60% of our deals come from people we don't have phone number or email yet from DM conversations. So that's the added benefit to this. Great question. What's the main difference between Go High Level and Airtable? So we use both. Go High Level is great for text, email out, automations around that. That's great. Airtable is great for organization and the organic side of things when we don't have phone number or email yet, where there are a lot of leads there on our profiles in school, on Facebook, Instagram, that we don't have phone number or email yet. And we don't want to lose those leads, right? It's cool. Sweet. Cool. So I think Natalie, you just hopped in, so I'll get you this link, and then I'll show you how to use this system. Boom. Let me grab this. Perfect. Drop it in here. Boom. And then, cool. Did you guys get that link uploaded? All that good stuff? Cool. What is the best workflow for following up, and how to integrate using a system like the Business OS on day-to-day? So 0 to 20K per month. We should have our offers, start dialing in our offers, that sort of stuff. And we are doing the majority of the sales and setting and that, all of that. So after that, what we want to do is use leverage with having setters in this system. And our recommendation with the hot list is do 4 re-engagements with the hot list before you take them off the hot list. And we have everything mapped out for all the clients here inside of the Notion document, the DM Notion document. For any new leads, make sure that you have a email and text sequence that goes out. So everybody who opts into our school community, to our Facebook group community, to our VSLs, to our funnels, those automations go through Go High Level. There's simple little tags that you can trigger those automations for the email sequence and text sequence and that sort of stuff. And I've gone deeper into that in other calls, but I would like to make it a habit. Cool. Yeah, and so let me go into this. Boom. DM. Boom. So Airtable is great for holding all the information and data visualization. Go High Level is great for prospecting automations, and then Notion is fucking phenomenal for documentation. So if I go in here, this is what our clients get. But boom, re-engagements with the hot list. What I recommend is with anybody who's hot, continue on the conversation with the first follow-up message. I call it like a water flow strategy where you're just continuing on the conversation. That's usually your best bet. But if you want scripted things, always have a workshop on your calendar that you can invite them to, right? To bring them back. Or one of my favorite scripts is, I have a crazy idea. Do you have 10 minutes? And then quick triage call, right? Or what's super underutilized is just outbound dials. If you have their phone number, just give them an outbound dial and ask them some questions, see if you can help, have a reason for your call, that sort of stuff. Saw you opted in for X, Y, and Z, want to make sure you're squared away with that, and then go into outbound style script. Big things, don't act desperate. Don't send big blocks of conversation. One of my favorite second follow-ups, and maybe some of you guys have gotten this, is just a Pooh Bear gif of like, think. Maybe I asked him a question and then it didn't get responded to. It's just like a soft little nudge to remind them. I fucking hate getting just like question marks or just following up on this. Like, this is a really soft nudge to go back up to the top of that. Then the third follow-up recommendation is just like, hey, you okay? And then that kind of activates something in our system where they're like, yeah, I'm okay. And a lot of times that gets a response. And then after a while, it's just about like, if you've engaged in a prospecting conversation, just pulling off the table. So like, do you still want X, Y, and Z result, or should I stop reaching out on this, right? So after a week, that's a really good script. We've had plenty of people just say like, oh shit, I meant to book in a call with you. Cool, I'll book that in now. We've had people saying like, nope, I'm good, don't need help right now, or I invested in something else. Cool, then we just remove them off the hot list, right? So either way, getting an answer there is great. And then this comes from Jeremy Miner, nice little script for the fifth and final. Reach out 3 to 4 times to help you generate sales this week, or whatever thing, like we have with hundreds of people, but haven't heard back from you. How would you like to proceed from here? Just a really good final question and language pattern of how would you like to proceed from here, putting it in their court so they're more inclined to answer, right? So that's just a quick overview of a general re-engagement follow-up script. Helpful? Cool. Sweet. Cool. Great questions, guys. What would be most helpful for you all right now? I'm kind of doing freestyle here, but is it the system? Is it DMs, like follow-up scripts, re-engagement scripts, automations, and Go High Level? Where do you guys want to take this? Fulfillment, something totally outside of sales. I mean, I could talk about that. DMs, follow-ups, warming up. Cool. So Elena, if you have an example, I can walk you through what I would say, and what I would like do and not do. So happy to do that. Post-event outreach. Katie, I love it. Brief overview and scaling in 5 to 10 as far as system is concerned. Cool. I can rock all of these out. This is great. If you have something else that would be really helpful for you, let me know. But I'm going to start with Natalia. And this is how my brain works around scaling online businesses. Here you go. So let's see, do I have this over here? There are 3 phases to scaling past 100K per month in online business. Let's see if I have it here. Okay, cool. So here's number 1. So first phase that we go through, I wish I knew this back in the day, I would have scaled so much faster, is artist phase. So like 0 to 30K per month is about first marketing and sales and offer creation. That's where our focus should be. It shouldn't be operations or hiring team members or anything like that. Our recommendation is do not do a low ticket reoccurring item. Our audience just isn't big enough to sell something like that, make a massive impact and profit a lot, right? What we recommend is a 3 to 10K offer for 4 to 6 months. And working more intimately with the clientele that you're working with. We've had clients that just didn't feel confident enough to sell a 3K offer initially. So we had them sell one-on-one calls to solve a very specific problem. So anywhere between $300 to $500 to build up that confidence. For example, there was Nora who literally, she's Amish. She barely knows how to use the internet. And she loved human design. So she left the Amish community, got into human design, loved it. She got 5 video testimonials from people that she knew about around their human design. She posted that up on social media, and then people started reaching out to her for help with human design and her chart and all of that. She sold a couple of them at $100 and then a couple of them at $300. And then one of those people said, how do I work with you further? And she sold her first 3K package, right? If you're starting at very bottom, like $0, that's where I would recommend starting. Getting testimonials on a 1-hour call, then showing off those testimonials on social media, and then people will start reaching out about how do I get that result, right? So the big thing in artist phase is moving as much traffic you don't own to traffic that you do own. Where I got started was in 2017, moving as many people to my Facebook group as possible. So I was engaging in a bunch of Facebook groups. I was hosting interviews with people in my Facebook group and having them promote it in front of their audience. And I just got super stoked about hitting 100 people in my group, then 500 people in my group, then 1,000, and then that built into 24,000 people in the Facebook group over 2.5 years. So pick a platform that you own, Instagram, YouTube, whatever, and move as much traffic to that source as possible, right? And when we have attention is the new gold, when we have an audience, like we can just put up a post or do a launch and make money from that. I remember my experience when I had 800 people in my group. I did my first launch post and I had 50 people comment, and I enrolled 8 people at $600 for a 6-week program. I was like, holy shit, I just made internet money. This is crazy, right? I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but I did it right by moving as many people to one source, to one community, where I was really helping them out a lot. I was doing a lot of Facebook Lives around teaching them how to run ads, get their first client, that sort of stuff. And it was this imposter syndrome and weird feeling of like, people were actually fucking listening to me. This is weird. But then the more I did that, the more I got over that feeling, right? So focus on gaining as much attention as possible, and done is better than perfect, taking imperfect action and building up your marketing, sales, and offer skill set, right? That's a quick overview of artists. Builder phase is solidifying the machine. So most people go through the income roller coaster between 30 and 80K or go back to zero because they haven't productized their fulfillment. They're still doing everything one-on-one or doing everything done for you. What you want to do is do in today's day and age, kind of a hybrid model between here are some done for you elements, but majority is community and coaching, right? In this phase, we want to get a client success manager that helps out with the fulfillment. That can be part-time or full-time. And we want to dial in our assets for what we're delivering. Like for us, we have Airtable systems, we have Notion systems, we have trainings, and we want to dial in a good like call cadence with our clients, right? Yeah, so with that, and then we move into systemizer phase. And scaling out a systemizer phase is more about having like one brain on your team. You guys just saw Avery on that call. He was the first brain on my team that I hired. He took over basically all of fulfillment for the programs. And it could be a fulfillment brain, it can be a sales brain, it can be, I wouldn't get marketing off your plate right then and there, but a sales brain or a fulfillment brain on your team that can think instead of just do, right? That's the most critical thing in systemizer phase. Does that make sense? Does that give you a quick high-level overview of that?
Yeah. Can I ask a quick follow-up question?
Yeah.
So you mentioned Go High Level School, Airtable. I don't use any of them. I just am on Facebook and I'm looking at growing from about 5K to exponential growth. Where do you host your programs? If you wanted to put an evergreen program, where do you host those?
Yeah, I host them on School. So School is freaking awesome in terms of the speed of being able to build out the course content. It takes the cake for me because I can just add a Loom link and it will be a new course video. When I was using Kajabi, I would have to download and re-upload the video and all that stuff, and it added too much friction. So I love School with that. In
School
terms
is cheaper, right?
yeah. I believe so. Might not be because it's 99 per month. But also you can, if you have Go High Level or download Go High Level, they have a community function too, and I believe can add a Zoom link. But the big thing for being at 5K per month is just building the audience and marketing and sales, and finding a product market fit for your offer. Those are the only three things being at 5K. Don't need to overthink the systems or automations or anything like that. It's just kind of initially a little bit down and dirty, building up capital into your business, and then you can start thinking about those things. But just marketing, sales, offer creation, or optimization. Yeah. Cool. Great question. I can show an example. Cool. I would love to check out that example. Cool. So what have you guys taken away so far? What's at least one golden nugget? Eric, I haven't heard from you on one of these calls in a while. Good to see you, dude.
Saw your email. I was like, I'll just hop in, waiting for a sales call at 20 minutes. So I was like, I'll see what's up. Say hi.
Sweet. Good to see you, man.
You too.
What's one thing that you took away so far?
My lead organization is kind of just messy. So I'm gonna hop in there and reorganize all of it.
Yeah, for everybody here, if you just organize your leads properly and have the hot list, and then you or other team members can just focus on hitting up that hot list and re-engaging with them, that's where we see the biggest shifts initially, especially like our pipeline can't be messy, right?
Yeah,
Or we're
I
losing
think
a
that
shit ton of
that four sequence messaging is golden. Actually, the call tomorrow, someone a downsell email, someone booked, and I was like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Fuck yeah, that's
but I
great.
gotta optimize some of that messaging a little bit.
Yeah. If we just have everything organized and we have the right process to follow, it makes sales a hell of a lot easier. So with the Leads OS and with the process we went with the re-engagements and follow-ups, that should get you started, man. So cool. Matt, systemizing lead gen with Airtable to make it much easier to track across platforms. Love it, Matt. Great takeaway. Cool. So let's go to Katie. I recommend everybody here host at least virtual events first, like this, doing a workshop. We do a weekly one. But then Katie, you did an in-person event. You talk about follow-up for that. Cool. So catch me up to date with that and what you're currently doing for outreaches post-event.
Yeah, so I hosted an event for women entrepreneurs or business owners who wanted to take care of themselves. They've been so good at taking care of everybody else that they might have forgotten how to do it for themselves. So it was called Potluck in Pink, and everybody brought a delicious dish. And I took everyone through a mindful eating practice where we tapped into our senses, and everyone was like smelling their food and just like laughing and just like being really playful with it. And then we did some questionnaire where it's like, what food would you be and why? And like, how would you live life deliciously? What does that mean to you?
Yeah.
And then took them in a workshop of going through the flavors of how their life is flavorful. So what sweetness is in your life, savory, spice, and all the things. And then I transitioned into my offer, which was originally going to be a 5-week immersion experience online, where each week we'd do a cooking class together, and then we'd infuse these flavors into their life to like remember how to connect with ourselves,
Mm-hmm.
despite being business owners. But I'm been feeling into it, and I feel like I want to do more of a 2-week, 2 call each week immersive and make it low ticket, and then transfer that into working with me in a group for like 6 months, and then have that be the higher ticket offer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So I pitched the initial idea to the group and nobody signed up, but I now have decided to do something different. So I thought about reaching out via email, just updating them on this new offer, and then just with the link to sign up.
Mm-hmm. You can do that, or we haven't done this at the past 2 events, but what works well is like a reunion call after the event, where you set it out like 2 weeks from today. You get everybody back together to reconnect, and then you talk about the next steps together on that reunion call.
Mm.
Just increase intimacy. And what they really want is to reconnect with everybody that they met. So have them reconnect and then talk about next steps on that session.
Okay, gotcha. So I also thought about the people who came, and I don't know if they're necessarily in a place where this would be something for them. Um, so I did want to expand who I'm reaching as well,
Yeah.
but use the content from the event to promote, hey, this is what we're doing in community. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Yeah. What's important is the lead sources. So where these people are coming from. That's why I do so many like JV workshops with people that have my audience, like Lead Gen J and that sort of people.
Yeah.
So this goes for everybody, especially in artist phase, is find your best lead sources and double down on those lead sources. If it's JV workshops with specific people, if it's a specific like simple ad that you're running from Instagram that's working well, that's attracting your ideal client, if it's posting in certain groups and bringing them over, just double down on the lead source that's bringing in the highest quality leads and do more of that at the beginning. Also, there are actually two things, and one of these I'm working on currently. The one I'm working on currently is changing our positioning and changing our messaging around what we're actually delivering. So trigger words for people in the space right now are like group coaching. And for some people, it's even one-on-one. So what we're changing our positioning to is co-creating, because then our audience doesn't have as much of a concept around that, and they're not as triggered by it. And what we are doing is helping people, co-creating people's marketing and their sales so they can sit in the seat of coaching, which they love, right? So repositioning that, instead of you get these group calls, you get these one-on-ones, you get a Slack channel, and repositioning that offer around co-creation and the result, right?
Yeah.
Figuring out what they really hate, and what's with your offer, what are similar offers in the space and what do they hate about those things, and repositioning yourself around that. Coming up with the new word of how to describe that. Because we had a really good session. Clayton was there on our Legends call. And we had one of our members, Rick, come in and do a presentation. But he was talking about, like, he hates how people say sell ice to an Eskimo. You're not going to maximize your sales or your impact or anything around that. And a lot of people in the space right now are selling ice to an Eskimo in the coaching space. They're saying, I'm coaching. Well, I have all of these other options as well, right? But sell Ozempic. So Ozempic is like, hey, here's this thing that you can take that will help you fix your problem. And there's a big audience for that. Like 58% of the population is overweight in the US. I have the solution with Ozempic here and angling around that, right? Work on the positioning around Ozempic instead of selling ice to an Eskimo. I know yours is a little bit different, but I think this is helpful for everyone here.
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I started going into my messaging a little bit deeper, and it started to feel different because I was starting to use different words. And I really don't feel like I want to call myself a coach anymore because I feel like it's so overdone, and I think it gets a bad rap in a lot of ways now because it's hard to know what even is a coach these days because people are just using it like candy. So I've thought about saying like strategist or advocate instead.
Strategist hits better. Advocate, I feel like is a little bit like lower. Like people wouldn't pay as much for an advocate compared to a strategist. So yeah, there's something there. That's great. Good stuff, Katie. Cool. Is that helpful? Helpful. Cool. Sweet. Architect is great too. Great stuff, Elena. Yeah, Elena, do you want to share your example of the DM conversations? I think this will be helpful for everyone.
Yeah, I can. Hi, Andrew. So this was a conversation where I tried to establish rapport, and I'm not sure because there is no interest. Should I ask? Should I not ask? So I can share.
Yeah, do you have permission to share the screen? Anytime we're doing these DM audits, it always helps. So this is great. So
Can you see my screen?
yeah, let me read this. Can you go up just a little bit?
Yeah.
Cool. That's good right there. Let's kind of see up a little bit more from his last message. Okay. Cool. So far, how grateful for freedom. I listened to the description. Cool. Yes, I'm free. Okay. Are you reading it for work? Okay. Cool. Mainly for personal growth, powerful. Cool. Solid cadence here. So, it looks like you read the or watched the mindset
Yeah.
video. The cadence is good, not adding more emojis or being too bubbly and that sort of stuff. So that's good. One thing that I do want everybody to note here, if you scroll back up, I'll say there are three different types of questions. Like there is current situation questions, which is just like details, right? It's not that powerful. We use it sometimes to continue on the conversation, but what are more powerful questions are problem questions and vision questions. And that will evoke more of an emotional response from them and connect you more with them. There's a biological component behind it. When we're talking about our problems with people, we release more oxytocin and we feel more of a connection with that person. And what you'll see here, are you reading it for work? That's more of like a current situation question, kind of more of a logistics question. We need to use these sometimes, but we won't get the best responses. So I think a quick tweak for you, Elena, is weaving in more problem questions and more vision questions to speed up these conversations and create more of that emotional gap where they're like, I need help, right? So that's good. Cool. So that'll be really helpful. And then you can scroll down.
Yeah.
Cool. Thank you. 2-day launch lab. Cool. Thank you. It was 2-day launch lab in Scottsdale, Arizona. How did you like it? Cool. Adding in some personal stuff there. Good. The whole event was amazing. I had found my tribe. Did you start coaching journey with the mastermind? Cool. This is getting a little bit closer. The journey started before. Cool. Okay. What do you want me to look at here? Kind of like, what should I say next?
Yeah, I'm not. So the issue is, I know that I need to ask problem questions and vision questions, but I don't see the opportunity without sounding. I don't want to sound like I'm qualifying them, and I don't want. This was a very long conversation about nothing, basically. So just chatter. So how would you turn it to a problem or a vision question?
Cool. Let's see if we can do this here. This is important, but with DM conversations, how it starts is usually how it finishes. So like a lot of people teach like DM conversations with like being bubbly at the beginning, just providing like just kind of being buddy first. I like to have a call to action post that leads them to a resource, and then I'm framed as the authority, and then those conversations are so much easier. So the more conversations you can generate from call to action posts, these conversations will be easier. The journey started before joining the mastermind. I need the direction, support, and community the mastermind offered. I know my ideal client. I'm working on having them know me. Have a wonderful day. Boom. He kind of just cut it off. This is great. Their community is indeed. Have a wonderful day. So I would open loop, number one, and ask for permission. So anytime I need to change the direction of conversation, I usually think open loop and ask for permission. So just saying I have a recommendation if you're open to it, yes. I have X, Y, and Z resources. Mind if I ask you a few questions to direct you to the right resource, something like that, kind of that flow. So I would open loop with a question, ask for permission, and then I can go into more of the details around his stuff. I think that's like 80% the way there, but that's how I would think about it.
Okay. Yeah, got it. Yeah, I probably should spend more time on CTA posts and really making sure they hit and people respond. And yeah, I think I will write to him about the workshop next week because I'm planning to have one.
That is a great reintroduction to the conversation. This goes for everybody. Like just say, hey, Philip, are you joining us on our client retention workshop where I'm showing you X, Y, and Z Thursday at 2 o'clock next week? Great. That's why we always have a workshop on our calendar, so we can re-engage with the list and everything. Cool.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew. This was super helpful.
Sweet. Good stuff. All right, guys. Did we have another question up here? Having a plan. Cool. Scaling from 5 to 10 as far as systems are concerned. Cool. Natalia, did Andres get you his link for the call?
No, I wasn't gonna call you out here, but I never heard
Oh
from
my
anybody.
God, call me out. I'll just
Quick
get you right
question.
here. Yep.
What's the benefit of Airtable for me at this point? I do my leads in Excel.
Mm-hmm. I would move those Excel leads over to the LeadsOS that we just set up. Reason for that is it can organize it a hell of a lot better, and the re-engagements will get a lot better. And the video inside of the interface under the LeadsOS will show you how to use the web clipper, so you can add those people. Did she walk away from me? You can add those people so much quicker.
All right, I went to close the door. Is this inside of high level? I don't even know where you're talking about the link that we put. I know I saved the link, but that was in Airtable.
Yes.
That's
So,
what you're talking about?
yep. So the beginning of this video, we went over how to set this up. So we'll get you the recording as well. I would just review the first 10 minutes of it and move those leads over. That will help a lot.
Okay, cool. All right, I appreciate it. Thank you.
And as promised, I put the link in there for Andres. He'll help you build out that roadmap and get you clarity. And if we work together, awesome. If not, totally cool too. But should be super valuable. Cool.
I appreciate it.
For sure. And cool, guys. Jay, Clayton, Phil, Pablo, any final questions here?
Nope, good stuff.
Cool. What were the key takeaways for you guys? Clayton?
Well, so I've been in the background dealing with the Airtable and trying to get the prepped for like hopefully an influx of leads, but trying to apply what you're saying to them and how it applies to me and my unique kind of offering situation too, so yeah,
Cool.
just getting.
Yeah, give me some more clarity on that.
Well, I'm building my list. It's not like I have, 20, 30 people that are in my warm list. So I have to get that warm list and I got to get interested people to start the conversation and really kind of figure out what you talk about their pain points and what they hate to do. It's like, yeah, I got to figure that out. Like, what do they hate to do? And what, I think I know, but I think I really need to get under the hood of that. So
yeah. What's cool about DM conversations is you can figure that out while you're prospecting. Just like, oh, you're trying to go here. What's like your biggest challenge? What's the problem? And then you'll find commonalities with that.
okay, I'll start asking.
Yeah, starting the conversation too, Clayton. You have pretty good engagement on some of these posts on here. So let me go here. Boom, just met Marcus, cool, in Hawaii. That's great. Got a few people engaging on that. Cool. What AI is about to be mind blowing, share the details.
Yeah, I was in Manus last night, geeking out. It was pretty cool.
That's awesome.
The funnel doctor liked me. He asked me some questions. That was good. He's got a big following. Jeffrey Bannock.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, and that might be a JV, that might be a potential client, that sort of stuff.
He's running a AI course here soon. I'm gonna go ahead and join that too, like a 1-day workshop. I'm gonna go ahead and join that and see if I can establish a stronger bond with him too.
Yeah, I know Jeff's pretty high quality. He came from the event. I don't know about Lat here, but you can just hit him up and say, yo, I just shot a 10-minute video on this system. I noticed that you engage with it when we shoot that over. Cool.
Good idea.
Engaging in a conversation. So,
Cool. Thank you.
cool. No problem. They're everywhere, you guys. Sweet. Cool. Well, great call, guys. I'll get
Thank
this
you.
uploaded and sent over to you. Download the LeadsOS, get that going, get organized, and re-engage with these prospects. And I'll talk to you guys soon.
Cheers.